Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back here with another Radiant tutorial, technically Radiant. This is a Autodesk Maya 8.5 tutorial, and what we're going to be doing today is getting a model from Maya to Asset Manager into your game. So when you play, you have that model in your game with you. I'm not going to be covering rigged models. It's just going to be static models, so just objects that sit there, like let's say you put a shelf or something in your game, just something like that. Rigs I might cover a little bit later, uh, once I get a little bit more acquainted with Maya, because I still am not very good with Maya. One sec. Just making sure I had something here earlier. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to create a box first of all, and I'm going to make sure it snaps to grid. And let's just make a box just like that, it's fine. And there, now I'm going to hit 5 so it's shaded. That's good. Got our little box there. And now, since we got our model, at least that's what I'm going to be using for an example today. What we're going to be using next is sorry, little speech stutter there. We're going to be putting textures on the model. So go up to Window, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, and make sure you're on the Polygons menu layout here. I don't think it matters, but it helps. Hypershade. Now go to the Textures tab, right click, go to Create, and then go to 2D Textures and File. Now we have our file, and gonna wanna, there we go. Trying to find my thing I had earlier. Sorry guys, just trying to figure it out. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so when you have your file, it'll pop up with a little thing here, and it'll say image name, and you're just going to click this little thing to browse, and then you're going to want to find your textures, and I'm just going to get a blank red texture, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my model here, right click, go to face, and then I selected this face, and then I'm going to go back here, right click and hold this the file 1, and then say assign textures material to selection, and that'll assign it to it. You can't see it right now because we're in shaded view, so what I'm going to do is hit 6, and then it'll show up. So now we have just that, and if I hit the render, come on, you stupid thing. There, we have our little thing. That's what it would look like in real life. Alright, so we got that, and I'm going to put it to, I guess I'll put it to this side too, just make it even. And say assign textures material to selection. There we go. Now I'm going to put the bottom sign. It's good. So now all the other ones I'm going to add a different color. So let's go here to textures and right click and hold, it, and then go to create 2D textures, file once again, and then by image name hit this, and then go to green, and we'll open that, and now we just have a little green thing. That's good. And now what we're going to want to do is select what we want to be shaded here. So I want the top to be, so I'll right click the green, go to assign with textures material, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know, it's fun. And I'm just going to do this for every single other side that hasn't been textured red. Good, so now we have even sides, so that's good. And alright, so now that we have it textured, we're going to name the hypershades. So what we're going to want to do is go to materials, and then you're going to see that these two have popped up, the green and the red. So I'm just going to name it. I'm going to go to the material here, and then I'm going to say rename. I'm going to name it. I'm fairly sure you always have to have a MTL as the first thing, and you can't have any spaces. It always has to be an underscore if there's a space. So I'm going to name it MTL. Let's just go red toot. Actually, no. Let's just go MTL red. MTL toot red. That's fine. And then I'm going to right click the green and go rename. And these are for the materials, by the way. So MTL underscore toot underscore red, or green, sorry. So that's good. Now we're going to go back here to textures, and we'll have our two textures here. Now for these, we're going to want to rename them the same thing, except for at the end, you want it to, instead of saying just ending with green, you're going to want to have an other underscore, and then it says text for texture. So I'm going to right click the red, and this is the textures, and then I'll say rename. I'll name it MTL toot red text. So there, that means it's the texture. And we're going to do the same for the green. So let's go MTL toot red, oh shit, not red, green text. There we go. So that's looking good for now. They're matching. MTL toot green, MTL toot green text, MTL red text, toot red text. Okay, so now that we have those, I'm going to export the images. Go to the Textures tab, and then you're going to right click on one of the, you're going to have to do this for both, so just right click on one of the textures and go to Test Texture. There's a lot of T's that I'm saying. Okay, so then this is our render view, and we're just going to want to hit File and then Save Image. Now, save where you, or don't save it yet, but find where you want to save it. I'm going to make a new one in here, and sorry for my Skype, probably should have gone on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to name it Test Model Tutorial. So that's good. Now, types of file, or files of type, okay, whatever. We're going to save it as a DDS file, because that's what Claude reads. And it can also read TGA, but I've never used it. I would just recommend using DDS since it already has it. So I'm going to name it the same thing as the it says over here. Name it exactly the same. So MTL toot green text. Now we're going to do the same for the red. Go to Test Texture, and then File, Save Image, and then save it as a DDS. Find where we want to save it. I saved it in here, and then save it as MTL toot red text, MTL toot red text. So that's good. So save that. That's good. You can exit out, and then exit out of the hypershade. So now I'm just going to go back into object mode, because we're done pretty much. Now we just have to export it. So I'm going to go and save the scene first of all. I'll just say test tutorial. That's fine. And now what we're going to want to do is go to Call of Duty World at War up here, and then Model Exporter. Now that we've opened this, we're going to go to Edit and select All, because you have to have it selected to export it. So now just go to, leave this as it is, and then go to Add New Entry, and then make sure, this is really important, make sure you check Entry 1 right there, or whatever. You'll probably, if you're exporting multiple, you'll just always check that. So now I'm just going to double check that everything is selected. So it is. So now we're going to go and see where we're going to save it. Go to your root folder. So go to Activision, World at War, and then and then model export. That folder will always be there. Go to your root folder and then model_export. So that's good. And now I'm just gonna name it static box tutorial. So that'll be called static box tutorial. That's what the model will end up being called. So I'll say set exports, select exports, and then go down here to select or export selected entities. Say yes, and then that'll export. And then we can exit out of this, save our scene, and close Maya. Now we're gonna move on to the asset manager part of the tutorial. So I'm gonna go in here, and then what we're gonna do next is open up asset manager, and then go to file and save it in your model export, just because it's kind of convenient because you have them all here. And I'm going to name it the same thing as I named the model, so I named it static box tutorial. So there we go, static box tutorial, and then it's going to be a .gdt. So that's cool. I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to pick X model in the list, and then I'm going to type new entry. Now here you're going to want to name it the same thing as you named the model, which I named it static box tutorial. So static box tutorial. So that's good. And then just press OK. And now we'll have all the types and stuff. If you have an animated model with like joints and stuff, put it as animated. But if you're just using a doing the normal static models, just keep it as rigid. That's fine. And then here where it says file name, you're going to want to click the three dots here, and then scroll down until you see your model. It'll automatically go to the model export. If it doesn't, go to your root folder and go into model_export. Now click your model export. It'll be a .xmodel_export, and it's static box tutorial. So I'm just going to open that, and then that's good. Problem is, now we have to import our materials, so don't do it so quickly. Just now you're going to want to scroll up and find material, which is right there. So new entry. Now you're going to want to name it the same thing as you named your materials in Maya, not the textures, the materials. So at the end it does not have the TEX for text, well, for texture technically. But so what we're going to name it is MTL to red. So that's the first one, MTL to red. And then I'm going to go here and change the material type to model thong, surface type to non, and well, actually you could change the surface type to non if you want, but I'm going to actually change it to something just as an example. I'll change it to metal, because now when you shoot your model, this is what it's gonna this is what's gonna happen. So you want to make sure you got that. And if you want to go down here, you could make it you can make your model non-colliding, a portal, an origin, all this stuff. You can put clips on it, but I'm not going to do that for now because I clip my own objects usually. Unless they're really intricate, I don't need to do that. So, good. Make sure you have that. You don't need to mess with anything here. Go to color map and click three dots, and then we're going to go, actually I missed something. We're going to go and go to where we exported our textures, the textures themselves. So I put them in ATM model, test tutorial model. So you see these two DDS files these are the actual textures. So I'm going to copy them by pressing Control C or right clicking and going to copy, and then go to my root folder, Call of Duty World at War, and then I'm going to go to raw and then images, and you can just drop it here, but I would recommend making a folder just to keep it organized, and I'll call this test. And by the way, you can't have any spaces, so make sure you have underscores or no spaces. So click on test tutorial. I'll take off the capital here. Test tutorial. And then I'm going to paste both my DDS files inside here. So that's good. You can exit that out. Now, go back to where you were opening your texture. And then you're going to want to go to raw in your root folder. Root, raw. And then you're going to find images, and then the folder that you created. It might take a second to come up, but go to test tutorial or whatever folder you're saving it in, and then pick your texture. R is the MTL to red text, because You see, it's just the same as there, except this one has a text on it. So open that, and then that's pretty much good. What you can do is go up here to PC Convert and current asset only, and these errors are just telling me that I have duplicate aliases. If something comes up saying that there's no it's not working, then you're gonna have to fix that because something's gone wrong. But these right here are just for something else, so don't worry about that. This right here is all that matters, these 4 lines. So that's good. I'm just going to save this quickly. But now we have another material to import, so we're going to do it again. Click New Entry under Material, and then we're going to change this to green, MTL to green, so we're going to follow the same process as here. We're going to put it as a model font, surface type is metal, or whatever you want to put it as, and that's good. Then we're going to go down here to the color map, and we're going to find green, so that's good. Then you can just go to PC Convert, and then convert it through. These errors are irrelevant. These are the only 4 lines that matter, and it's completely fine. Good. And now the last thing, we can go down and find X model again, and we'll find our static box tutorial model here. And then we can go PC Convert, convert current asset only. And then if you'll see, down here it'll actually show the surface summary that these were found. And if it says that they weren't found, it's because you converted them without having the materials ready. So make sure you do the materials first before you export the X model. So that's good. You can just click Done and then save. And now exit that out. And now just to quickly check, I would go to Asset Viewer, and then you can look at your model. I'll show you how to get it actually into your game and everything. You should always make sure it's here first. So static underscore, what was it? Default model. That's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for static underscore what was it? Crap. Static, crap, I'm gonna have to go back and look. Wow, failure. Static box tutorial. Static underscore box tutorial. Now click it, and you'll see that, oh, alright, well this is good, we have an error. So, as you see, it's turned up black, and this is by a stupid thing that COD has, where when the undershade for the model, the normal, if you didn't have materials, the default shade, it does not detect anything but white, so it will not texture it if it is not white. So, we're going to go back and fix this. I find this good to know. I know it's annoying for you probably, but alright, we're just going to go back and we're going to do it again. Not everything again, we don't have to do everything again, we just have to export the model. So, that's why it's always good to save your scenes just in case. So, let's open up Maya. We'll wait for it to get up. Takes a little bit. Look at the epic picture. Come on, tell me that's not epic. It's like some dragon thing, but it's like I don't know, it just looks epic. Alright, come on. Come on, Maya, don't shit on me. There we go. Okay, so I'll exit that, put this up, and we'll open our scene that we had, test tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to click 5 to go into the shaded view. So you see it's gray? That's why it did not work, because COD will not pick it up. So, make sure you're, actually it doesn't matter, right click on it while you're in object mode, and have it selected, right click, go to color sets, color set editor, and then color, and then you could usually just click apply color, but wait, if you haven't done it yet, I would go here to this little thing right beside apply color, and then make sure that the color is set to white. So make sure it is all set to white. So that's good. Then just click apply color and then close. And now if we go back, we can click 6 to go back to our textured, 5 to go back, and it's white, so that's good. That's what was missing. That was the problem, and if you ever have that problem, that's how you fix it. If your textures turn up black when you get in game. So that's good. I'll save my scene, go to Call of Duty World at War, model exporter, add new entry, group green, entry 2, make sure you check that, and then I'm going to select, edit, select all, and then I'm going to hit here, and I'm going to save it. Going to go to our root folder, and then model export, and then I'm going to overwrite the old one. Yes, I want to replace it. Make sure it's all selected. Set exports, select exports, export selected entities, or entries, whatever. And then say yes, let it export, and then say save scene. That's good. And then exit out. And now, since it's already all set up, all we have to do, and just make sure if you have that problem you overwrite it, because then you can just go back and convert it again. So I'm going to go to Asset Manager, and then Static Box Tutorial, and I'm going to export these again just to be safe. There's probably no reason, but you always want to be safe. So see, that came out fine. That's what it should look like in the Static Box Tutorial. Good, that all worked well. Save, then go back to your launcher, Asset Viewer. And then type Static Box Tutorial, click, and it should show up. So now we have all our textures right, and the box turned out fine, so that's good. Now I'm going to show you how to get it in your game and then export it and everything. So that's good. Click out of that, and I'm going to open up, you can close Asset Manager too. And I'm going to open up Radiant. Very long and boring tutorial, I know. And Radiant hates my fraps. It literally hates it. So this is going to take the long... Oh, okay. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. Alright. We're going to just go to a map that I know will work. Go to Skyland. That's fine. Go up here. And then... it's good. So now we're going to go to right-click and go to MISC Model. And we're going to search for our model, which is Static Box Tutorial. That's good. Open. And then we'll move this up. And then you see we have it in our Radiant. We have this little model thing. So we don't really need it to... sorry about that. We don't really need it to do anything special. So I'm going to press N to go in the entity window. Type model scale. And then I'm going to press... we'll say around 5. No, not 5. And get it to around a size you like, because I don't like scaling things in Maya because I'm just really not that good at it. But whatever. It's good. We'll rotate it, I guess. And we'll just sit it there. I don't really care. If you want your model to be clipped, I would clip it, because it will not be clipped if you haven't selected to clip it in Asset Manager. So there, that's clipped it, and there's pretty much a box. So I'm gonna save everything, and then I'm gonna go to my mod builder, and then I'm gonna select my map. It's right. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna want to do is go get the images from before that were converted. When we put the images in our materials to be exported, they converted too. So let's go back to root raw images, and then let's find our materials. So it'll be, we'll search it, MTL, toot, and then these two files here. Make sure they're the IWIs, not the DDS files. So Control C to copy, or copy, right click and copy, and then we're gonna go to our mod, which is in our root folder, mods, and then what our map is, mine's Skyland. Go to images, and then put those two in there. So that's good. Now we have them there. Now I'm gonna reload the mod here, and then put those two. Now, your model will not show up unless you include it in your mod.fast file. So what I'm going to do here is put material, comma, and then our material's name. And our material's name is mtl underscore toot underscore red, and then we have another one, so I'll type material. You always have to have that kind of thing before it. mtl toot green, and then our X model, which is static box tutorial, and I'm not gonna fuck up again, and I'm gonna double check to make sure that is the name of it. Yeah, static box tutorial. So that's good. Now that we have those included, just make sure those two are checked, make sure everything you need is checked. I don't need those. Then I'll just click build mod.ff and build IWD, and I'll build my mod and normal stuff. Then I'm going to go to compile level, and this is pretty much just a normal compile. I'm going to go to Skyland, and I'm going to compile my level. I'll let that go through its thing. Sorry if you have to kind of sit here and wait, but you can skip ahead a little bit. That's the power of YouTube. So by now, pretty much you're done. As long as you compile that and compile your patch, you should be fine. I don't think there's any reason why it wouldn't work. Just make sure you have your model shade is white in Maya. It's really important because COD for some reason won't read it. I'm glad actually I ran into that error, because it's a good opportunity to show the problem solving that I've had to go through, and you probably will have to go through if you haven't already, and that's probably why you're watching this tutorial. So I hope that cleared up some problems that you've had, and if you don't have Maya, because I'm kind of saying this a little late in the video, but if you don't have Maya 8.5 and you don't know how to get it, you cannot find it, message me and I will give you a torrent, because I don't want to put it in the description to get copyrighted or the video taken down. So just give me a message and I will give you that torrent. And here, Nazi Zombie Skyline patch, and I'll just build fast files. So that's good. Now I'm going to meet you guys in game to show you my model. Alright guys, I'm back here, and in World at War I'm going to go to my mod, which is Skylands. Let's find that. And here we go. I'm going to launch my mod, dev, map, Nazi, zombie, Skyland, and we'll launch that. It's good. So now I'm going to run up here, and you can already see it. That is the model. She's kind of sitting here, but it's simple, but it worked also. So it's pretty much my tutorial for today, guys. I can't really think of anything else that's that I can really shine a light on. So we got that model in COD, and I hope this really helped out to get your models, because I know I had some big problems with it. And well, yeah, so thanks guys, and I'm out. Peace.